When the draft rolls around, you hope your team can get an impact starter day one. And if he's not, you hope you can at least get busy with him in Madden. But unfortunately, due to the team they went to, their skill set not meshing with what it takes to reach Madden greatness, or both, teams can draft a straight up dud. So here's Sports Gamers Online worst draft pick fits in Madden 19. Alright, let's get it. Started off is the Seattle Seahawks drafting Rashad Penny. I'm sure Seahawks users and Russell Wilson in real life have fun imitating the Madden 04 Falcons offense, but they quickly realized, at least the real life Seahawks did, that you can't play like that if you don't want Russell Wilson to get familiar with the injury report. So they drafted a projected mid-second third rounder in the first who wasn't even the best back left on the board. He's not even a super athlete, so you can't have fun using him in Madden, so how dare they? But from a selfish Madden and real life team need purpose, passing on a future Madden great like Jair Alexander kinda hurt. Next is the Arizona Cardinals drafting Sam Bradford 1.5. Now if the Cardinals would have taken Lamar Jackson like I wanted, they wouldn't even have been on this list, but instead they took a younger Sam Bradford and Josh Rosen, and Bradford isn't even that old. I mean, yeah, you got your QB of the future, but I think Rosen's stock in Madden will be extremely low, and he's on the team with a better version of himself. Now for the Oakland Raiders picking Kolton Miller. Granted, I don't know much about offensive linemen outside of the 2 or 3 prospects that get hyped up every year, but the reaction to Miller getting taken so high was telling. I did like in Josh Rosen's highlights that whenever he was rolling out, it was because Kolton Miller got beat. But with Penn getting up there in age, they needed a left tackle of the future, so he's going to play right tackle early on before he switches. But forget about everybody thinking he has a high chance of being a bust. It may be true, but it's the defensive players the Raiders passed on to take him. They traded down out of a chance of some nice dudes, then they passed on Super Madden beasts Edmonds and Derwin James. Their division is loaded with gifted pass rushers, and the Broncos took Chubb and they basically handed the Chargers James, and yet the Raiders took Kolton Miller. Oof. Next is the Denver Broncos selecting Courtland Sutton. Seen as a value pick in the second, as some projected Sutton to go in the first and maybe even the first receiver taken, so I'm sure the Broncos were glad to snatch him up. But he goes to a team with Emmanuel Sanders and Thomas already there. This was a move for the future if the Broncos decide to move on from either of the two. But with the skill set of Sutton, who's a not that fast jump ball guy, how much will he help in Madden 19? The Broncos already have 2 starters locked in, along with one of my sleeper receivers from last year and Carlos Henderson also on the team. From a Madden standpoint, it hurts even worse when you realize Geist was still on the board. Sutton may become a great receiver to catch Keenum's YOLO balls, but he feels like another Cody Lattimore to me with the lack of speed and his strength being something Madden has gone to great lengths to limit in recent years. He's just another name on a team where you can make a case he's the 4th receiver on. And lastly is the Minnesota Vikings selecting Mike Hughes. Considering the NFC Championship game swung in the Eagles' favor once the Vikings offensive linemen remembered that they sucked, you would figure they would have gone to great lengths to take care of that ASAP. Granted, yes, they did draft a tackle a little later on, but with Henderson still on the board, who ended up going to the Giants, and a brand new quarterback they just gave all the money to, they take a cornerback who in real life will probably be their slot, but in Madden could even drop lower on the depth chart depending on who has the Vikings. Hughes has real life skills that will serve him well down the line, but unless they fix something about cornerbacks and how they react to Madden, the guy's basically another Mackenzie Alexander for Vikings users. Waynes might be going soon, so Hughes could be a starter eventually, but in Madden 19, Waynes is still there and still fast. So Hughes' impact on the Madden world will be fairly limited even if he does end up being your number 1 or 2 cornerback. But with all that being said, do you agree with the list? And if not, what's a player that your team or somebody else has drafted that you find no use for in Madden? Leave it in the comments down below. And stay tuned here at Sports Gamers Online for more Madden content, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. I'm Chris, thank you all for watching, and be good.
Do you know the way? Do you know the way?
I call it the squad. I call it the gang. Running through your door. Call me Luke Kane. Glass on my wrist. Your and my wrist lame. You know I just lied because my diamonds fake. But let's to the function, and I'm super late.